So let's do a lighting breakdown. It's the work of PhilipLorca diCorcia, and it's from a series he made called Hustlers. And I can't go into a lot of detail around the context of this, but if you have a quick search, if you're not familiar with the work, because it was kind of controversial at the time, not just because of the subject matter, but also the way the photographer used grant money that was given to him, which was a very deliberate act on his part against super conservative America. The Hustler series was all shot in California, in LA, on a camera like this, which is a Linhof 6x7. You can handhold them, but ideally they're tripod mounted, and they have like a view plate at the back, which allows you to make these like super detailed compositions, but also you get a really big negative, obviously, which allows for amazing detail. Like this one, obviously, is a long exposure, which you can see from the light trails here. Light on the subject's face is mainly ambient light that's coming from that sign, but there's also images like this, which is shot in a motel room, I guess. You can tell by the big shadow on the wall that there's a gelled light firing at the subject. You can see it better here. But there's also a strobe, some kind of small flash that's probably hidden in this lampshade here, which is giving that super cool highlight that's on the other side of the model's face. But it's really cleverly done. And he has a definite like cinematic feel to his work. This sunset shot, it's really striking and dramatic, slightly long exposure, but then there's this really angled flashlight. You see a lot in his later work. You can see a flash that's kind of pinning the subject against the wall. And then there's this little kind of ray of light that's hitting the subject's head. Really dramatic use of shadow, quite a harsh flash. It's good to know how it worked with this. So he would go and find a location nearby, set up with his assistant, test the lighting, and then go and find a subject on the street that he wanted to photograph. So he had to be really quick. And obviously this is something he's doing like without permission. So he's probably using quite small flashes that are super mobile and he can just get up and move around really quickly. And also he uses a lot of gel light, but for me it's really about the balance he gets in this shot, which comes together really nicely in the wide. Like the light is just balanced so beautifully here. Great use of negative space and framing. And it's got to be quite an angled flash, and you can see it catching on the window ledge as well. Another use of gel light here on the subject's face. Another really great gel here. Again, just really intense framing, composition. It's really storytelling and isolating the subject. This one, again, it mimics the idea of really strong daylight coming into the motel room, but you can see it's also really open, like a bare bulb flash. So that like hardline intense shadow on the wall. Again, with this one, a really raw flash playing off against the colors of the ambient light. A long exposure on just using the car headlight. A couple of flashes come together in this, but it's about that really harsh light onto the face. That strong shadow it creates under the chin, and that highlight on the hair. I might do more of a deep dive on my YouTube into his work because I think it's really incredible. Just his sense of composition, how he uses the frame, his idea of storytelling. There's obviously a Jeff Wall kind of influence as well in the work, and this idea of a stage situation, and just some of his iconic street pictures. Again, this is staged and using hidden flashlights, strobes, as well as the ambient reflected light of the street. He also shot a lot of test Polaroids, which of course I love. And he went to college with Nan Golding, one of my favorite photographers of all time. So I'll probably do a longer detailed video on him because I think we can learn a lot from his work because he has those perfect elements of composition, storytelling, and beautiful lighting.